Now, my next guest trained as a military tailor and has just gone into business making bespoke dress shirts. You know the sort of thing I mean? You might see, if you go out to a fancy party or a ball or something like that, gentlemen dressed in their dinner jackets and bow ties with a rather nice, smart, frilly-fronted white shirt. But secretly, underneath the jacket, there is something different on the sleeves and the back of that shirt. So how do you go about making them, and why would you make something like that? Well, I've been chatting with Deanne Sumner-Wilson, whose business is based near to Spilsby. I asked her about her military training and how she set up the business in the first place.
When I left school, I went to work in a factory that made clothing for Marks and Spencer's. And I spent a year with a lovely lady called Mary, who taught us how to sew everything that you needed to sew.
And it is a real skill, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is very much so. But you have to be passionate about it. You have to be interested in what you're doing.
What sort of things were you sewing?
Oh, skirts, jackets, blouses, most ladies' clothing.
And this went on then to lead you into becoming a military tailor then, didn't it?
It did, yes. I moved to Germany when I was about 21 and I got my first tailoring job a few months after arriving. And I didn't know what I was doing. There was a German lady who was already a tailor there, and she taught me basically what I needed to know.
And was this altering military uniforms and those sorts of things, or what was it?
It was, yeah. It was all the formal dress for parades, and it court-mounted all the medals for them. But then normal working dress as well. There's rank badges to go on. Badges, when they've done certain courses, they have to wear certain badges.
Because it's got to be done so precisely. I mean, the skill of somebody sewing properly is that you don't notice it, isn't it? That's the skill.
That is very true. Yes, it is. Yeah, all the badges have to be put on a certain measurement on a certain place on the arm.
So how long were you doing that for, working as a military tailor?
About 10, 12 years.
And that was always in Germany, was it?
It was, yes. Yeah.
So what brings you to Lincolnshire? What brought you here to our fair county?
Well, my last posting within the army was in Leconfield, and I lived in Beverley. And then I met my husband, Mark, online.
Because I'm pleased to say that Mark is also with us in the studio. Morning, Mark.
Good morning.
You said you weren't going to talk on the radio, but I'm going to insist you do. So you come to live in Lincolnshire. Where does this idea come from, then, for fancy shirts? Because the clever thing about this, and I have seen this before, is you've got a dress shirt, all very frilly and very fancy on the front. Looks generally plain white with a bow tie, very, very smart. And then later in the evening, someone will take the jacket off and reveal something very different on the back. Where's the idea come from for you to make these?
And when I lived in Germany, I seen that. In fact, it wasn't Germany. It was when I lived in Cyprus, and I'd seen one in a shop, and I thought, oh, that's a really good idea. So I made one for someone, and then his friend and his friend and his friend, and it just sort of escalated from there. I only made probably 6 or 7, and then forgot all about it. And then we went to a ball in Coningsby last year, and the gentleman that we were with said, oh, look at have you seen his shirt over there? And he just pulled the corner of his jacket over and revealed he had patterned sleeves. And I went, oh, I used to make them. And Mark says to me, why aren't you making them now? So that is really where it came from.
And you've brought your favourite shirt in, Mark, haven't you? Which is it Star Wars on the back?
Star Wars schematics, yeah. I do like. I'm a bit of a sci-fi geek, and that one just appealed to me.
You're looking very smart at the moment. I'd like you to take your jacket off for me, please, and reveal what's on the back of the shirt you're wearing now. I don't know this, so here we go. The jacket coming off. Just describe this for me, if you can. What's on the back of Mark's shirt that he's wearing now? It
is a pirate treasure map.
Aha, OK. Has this been made especially for Mark?
It has. It was made to go to a lifeboat ball last year, but unfortunately it was cancelled. But I'd already made the shirt.
Oh, take a seat again, Mark. Yeah, it looks very smart. Do you feel different when you wear something like that?
It turns heads. It really turns heads.
Because you know, the thing is, when you walk into the room, you know that this is something you're keeping a secret from people.
Yeah, this is it, yeah. I mean, you go to a ball as a man and everybody will be wearing their jacket and their white shirt, and there is you might, if you're lucky, wear a waistcoat which might have a pattern on it, but other than that, every man is virtually the same. But when the jackets come off, you're completely different. And you can be whatever you want to be on the night. If you can find the fabric that is your hobby or interest or whatever, you can show that on your shirt.
How does it work then? Do you buy a standard dress shirt and cut the sleeves off and attach new sleeves? Is that how you do it?
I do, yeah.
Do you? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, take the sleeves and the back off, and then you obviously cut the fabric out of using the pattern of the sleeves that are already on, and then you sew it all back together and put the original cuffs back on the shirt, so that when you've got your jacket on, the cuffs do hang down slightly lower than the sleeve, so it just looks like a normal shirt.
It is absolutely fantastic. What about the care for something like this, though? I mean, as we'll come on to in a moment, they're not the cheapest shirts to buy.
They are.
So, I mean, you want to look after them. So how do you look after a shirt like this?
You wash it as low as possible in the washing machine, but we do, when we send our shirts out, they come with their own care label with them, and there is a box of colour catcher sheets that you must put one in the machine when you wash it.
So what does that do, a colour catcher sheet?
It catches all the colours from the pattern on the sleeves and the back, and it catches all the colours and stops it running into the white.
Oh, wow. Is that a good tip for anybody with any other shirts and dresses or whatever it might be with lots of colour in? You can buy these sheets,
yes,
can you?
they're not very expensive
right.
either. So
I've not come across those. Might save my whites in the future, mightn't it, with something like that? And what about the fabrics? I mean, do you have a supply of fabrics, or how do people decide what they're going to have on their shirt?
we use eBay for most of our fabrics. If someone wants to go on there and have a look, and you put in 100% cotton fabric, and then you can specialise it by putting in pheasants or any of your hobby cards. You put that on the end of it. There's so many, there's thousands of materials to choose
You've
from.
brought me a lovely shirt along to look at here, and this is not a dress shirt as such, but it's very classy. This has got some lovely pheasants on the back here. So is that for somebody who specifically said, I want a pheasant shirt, for example?
It is. A lady came into my shop just before Christmas and says, my husband doesn't go to balls, but he would wear a smart shirt. So I told her to go onto eBay and find some material, and she came in with an eBay number of a fabric. So I went onto eBay, I bought the fabric and made up the shirt, and there it is for all to see.
It's fantastic. And you mentioned cards, so anybody who goes to a casino or something like that, or a casino night, which they hold sometimes for a ball, it's going to look the real business if you go along to those sorts of things. What sort of response have you had to it so far?
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
People come in and it's just a wow factor, because they've never seen anything like this before.
No. Mail order, or are people generally coming into the shop to get things?
Most people are coming into the shop. We are on Facebook. We do have our own page on there. We've actually opened a shop on Facebook now, where people can go on. They can call me. My number's on there.
How much is one of these dress shirts going to set me back?
They are very expensive because there is a lot of work goes into them. There's about 4.5, 5 hours work for each shirt. It starts at £100, and then whatever the fabric costs after that, it could be £30, £40.
But that's interesting, because you see, I was looking at dress shirts the other day, and actually to buy a decent dress shirt, you could be paying £50 for a plain white dress shirt anyway, couldn't you?
Very easily, yes.
So okay, and it's one of those things, the wow factor is there. If somebody's wanting to make an impression, slip that jacket off, who knows what's going to be underneath?
And they are all bespoke originals.
Yeah, so nobody else is going to have the same one?
Very highly unlikely, and each one comes with its own certificate to say that there is only one of it has been made, and we try and keep a record of where each shirt goes so that you don't end up going to a ball and meeting somebody else wearing the same pattern or something close.
Yeah, has anybody else tried to get hold of your Star Wars shirt? Because that's a very special shirt.
When I went to the Coningsby Ball just before Christmas, we have actually made a friend of ours who invites us there another Star Wars shirt, but his is completely different to mine, but it is still Star Wars themed. The two of us walking around did really turn some heads, because we were the only people there that night that were wearing a customised shirt.
It's fascinating. The shirt's absolutely amazing. Mark and Deanne Sumner-Wilson with their business I Sew is what they call themselves. We'll put all the contact details on reception and also on our programme page as well.